open some windows here. Okay, I got that one. And this one. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the freebies going on. So if you spend more money with Adafruit, you'll get some freebies while supplies last. Real quick, I'll go through the tiers. If you spend $99 or more, you're going to get a free half-size Perma Proto. For orders that are $149 or more, you'll get the half-size Perma Proto plus a randomly selected Stemma QT breakout board. If you have an account with Adafruit, make sure you don't get the same one twice. And for orders that are $200 or more, you'll get the free Stemma QT breakout, the half-size Perma Proto, plus free ground shipping for UPS in the continental US only. So check it out at adafruit.com/free. Those get automatically added to your order, so you don't have to worry about any coupons. And let me go over to check out the jobs board at jobs@adafruit.com. This week there are a new position. So check out, it's free to set up a profile, or if you're an employer and looking for some folks, you can set up a job listing for free. And yeah, it's great. It's great, free open platform. I think it's open. Let's check it out. There is a new position here in the Tampa, Florida area for Matrix Portal project. Oh, it's a contract position.
Bob Property. Huh. What does that entail? Like setting up a Matrix display?
Maybe. You'll have to go to the jobs board and check it out if you're interested. Cool, cool. All right, we got newsletters. The newsletter that happens once a week is focused on products, new products that get added to the shop. If you want to get that in your inbox, you can subscribe to the newsletter, and the URL for that is adafruit.com/newsletter. For daily content, you can go to adafruitdaily.com and see all the different categories you can subscribe to, such as 3D printing and Python on hardware. Shout out to all the folks that are subscribed to Python on hardware. This is a great opportunity for folks from the community to share their projects and stories, all Python related. So shout out to everybody for subscribing to that. Cool, cool. March is Women's History Month. Adafruit is posting daily blog posts to celebrate awesome women in STEM and technology. So check them out. It's a post every day, and that's blog.adafruit.com. I want to give a big shout out to Liz City. She, congratulations, she is a full-time member at Adafruit. And if you've seen some 3D projects, she's been an integral part of 3D Hangouts, doing just about all the code for our project. So everybody welcome her to the team, and it's super exciting to have her do a lot of new product guides, helping Katney out, helping Lamar out, and just being overall awesome. So shout out to Liz.
Helping out Lamar big time with all of the doing the new product guides, I think she's doing the pretty pins as well.
Oh, cool.
And a bunch of the breakouts at like the guides for all the new products that come out, like showing all the pinouts and showing how to do the factory set and all that stuff. So definitely huge shout out for immense help that's going to come into Lamar.
Yeah, more musical projects to come as well.
And a reminder that Adafruit is a real job. Remember when
and they're
we
real
first...
people. Hopefully this year we'll be able to do something like this where all of us can get together again. So let's all work hard to get there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks.
Super awesome.
All right. I think we're ready for this week's project.
All right. Go ahead and jump right into this week's project. We got some rocket shoes. So a couple of weeks ago, Philtrone PT saw these awesome shoes that came out from Nike. Andrew Sink did a really good review on the 3D printing heels that these shoes come with. I did not bring the ones that these actually come with because they were actually like injection molded,
you want me to go
not
grab
3D printed.
I'll
nah, it's fine. I mean, they kind of look like this
They
look like this without the rocket little things on it. But the whole purpose of it was, of course, being at Adafruit, adding some LEDs and some motion activated animations to having them be like wearables. So one of the cool things about these is the platform that they're using. I again know nothing about shoes, so these are the what's the name of them?
They're called Blazer Low.
Yeah, so I guess it's a
collab with Acronym, so Nike Acronym.
Yeah, so the way I'm seeing it just from that is that the Nike hands out a platform of shoe that other third-party companies can design on top of. And one of the things that Acronym came up with was having these heels that you can have like a 3D printed attachment for them. These are, if you could close the blind there, actually.
Let me do the
show this
exposure
one.
change. So we could just do that. Boop, boop.
Oh, here you go. It's a nice little branding of the Acronym logo there, and they do like, I don't know, they're like designers that do like clothes and as well as the shoes. So the heels that come with this shoe, definitely not 3D printed. These are injection molded. You can see how thick they are for
Yeah, they're pretty
the injection
durable.
molding. Yeah.
They're going to match the style of the shoe. There's like 3 or 4 different color choices you can get. You can purchase them from different distributors. We were able to get ours from
Acronym themselves. They still have a couple of the sizes available.
Yeah, we have the link to the Learn Guide so you can get them if you'd like. They come in different sizes.
I did not mess up these shoes. This is how they came. That's like the design.
It's a cool little design that they have to kind of flare it out. So they kind of have this kind of textured cutouts, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, so you get 3 bolts here that has heat inserts, and that's how you attach them. These screws came with the shoes themselves. They're kind of like flathead screws, M3. I love M3. That's great. Shout out to Nike for doing metric screws and not Imperial 440s.
That definitely helped a lot that was standardized. Metric.
But huge fan of M3. Instead of having to use a screwdriver, we got these really rad thumb screws. So you got these honking thumb screws. They're anodized aluminum, so you can get them in different colors and get these on Amazon. But yeah, they're really nice for can I take this out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's really easy to take them out. But what was kind of interesting is you actually don't really need the screws because the heat sets themselves are kind of extruded out a little bit. They kind of protrude, so they're able to kind of fit the print over it. So what's interesting is you use PLA instead of having to use like a Ninja Flex, because Ninja Flex can be really difficult to print.
I did try the more rigid, not as flexible Ninja Flex, the semi flex, but that was
Cheetah
still
stuff?
that was still too flexible for this.
Right,
You need something like the Armadillo, I think it's what it's called, the 70 shore hardness for that.
Sure. So the goal was to all right, let me recreate this and then add some a holder for the Circuit Playground. So instead of kind of creating a custom Circuit Playground case, we figured to use the polycarbonate clear case that we already have injection molded because it's got a lot of protection to the board. And it has onboard buttons that you can press, switch that you can access as well, and all the ports are available. So you can do, you can connect alligator clips to any of these pads if you want to do other stuff. And really, the idea to use the alligator clips is kind of like make it modular, but also just it's easier to kind of assemble it this way. So that was kind of a cool thing, and it kind of adds to the aesthetic that this is like kind of like your Doc Brown sort of invention where the wires are kind of out there and exposed a little bit, but it kind of adds to it.
Yeah, the exposed wires definitely adds to the look that they're trying to do with the ones that they included, which a lot of the artists did have the ability to go in there and create their own so they could showcase that. Unfortunately, some of the designs that you've seen in Andrew's video, they don't really fit at all. It looks like they were sort of rushed or something to get this out.
Yeah. So this one did fit, however. This was able to fit because the shoe, this is a 9.5. I guess some of the other bigger shoes, maybe this didn't fit. So that's kind of why you kind of recreated it, because you made it parametric and scalable, so you can easily, massage and move some of the sketches around if you want to change up the geometry.
Yeah, we'll jump into the Fusion file in a little bit to take a look at it. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to avoid was having it be so thick, because of course you don't need to have it be that thick for what you're needing here, which is just a bunch of mounts for having like the little rocket boosters, which of course you can go ahead and it doesn't have to be a rocket booster. You could take the existing mounts and just model something else. Yeah,
it's like a car, tail lights.
You have your battery mounted on the top here, or on the back here, and you can see how it's nice protected between these two. It's kind of dark in there.
Yeah, I'll do one of these. Too much.
Yeah, so you have the extension, JC extension on there, and the way that this is even held on there too is a bunch of the tripod adapters. So you have a quarter 20 to quarter 20. It's attaching our very lovely polycarbonate acrylic case that Mike Dole has designed, and these have the tripod screws adapters to attach it to things. And then we're using the 3/4 to quarter 20 for mounting that on there, and everything's attached with a bunch of M2.5 millimeter screws. completely modular. You can take it all apart, like you said before. One of the difficulties in building something like this is having to thread the wires through to get the boosters on there. You want to make sure that you're not playing that threading game where you are having to solder your circuit board and then having to unsolder it if you need to change out your part. So to avoid that, if I can get some shellac in here from that, you can see that the NeoPixels here are attached with some
jumpers.
Some jumpers so that can easily detach. One of the things you have to think about when you're building the assembly for this, you want to make sure that because you're still prototyping as you're printing, you want to make sure that you're not playing that game where you have to unsolder your wires to thread everything through. Not really good use of time. So definitely always think about having all of your circuits being able to be disassembled in this way, because in this game,
way to do it,
yeah. So go ahead and show how the entire thing comes apart. Now that I've taken that out, I need to actually release some more of the shellac to get in there.
It's so fun to take it apart.
Yeah, another thing too, another thing that Nike really didn't, probably for cost savings, that they were including these, I don't want to trash talk, but yeah, these screws that were already starting to rust.
Well,
I mean, these thumb screws weren't that much money, so definitely would have been a much more easier route to go and to promote it that way. So you can see here how it's routed here. We just have the male jumpers on the other side that's connecting to the little females on this side. And we're using a very lovely PCB NeoPixels. So you have the resistor and everything on there that you need to get this powered up. And yeah, this just goes through here like that. And then you have a couple of other mounting opportunities in these areas around here if you want to go ahead and modify this in any way.
So what I really like is that when you designed the clip and the boosters, it could have been a single part, kind of like how this one was, but to optimize it for 3D printing, it's really smart to kind of chop the pieces off and reorient them on the bed and kind of optimize it so that it prints, with as least support material as you need.
This looks beautiful, but you're gonna need the type of supports that I'm using on there is breakaway, or you can also use like PVA, because with regular supports you're not gonna get.
Yeah, let me slow you down real quick. There's a special filament called breakaway filament from Ultimaker. I don't know if anyone else makes it. That's a special filament that's designed to be support material, and it prints beautifully. A couple years ago we did like a little thing about it, but this, you can see that this is the bottom layer. This is where you can kind of see a little bit of blemish there of where the breakaway support is. So if you ever thought about more support material, try some breakaway stuff. It's only, I think, for multi-makers, and
I've not seen anyone else.
285 diameter. I haven't seen anyone else, right?
I don't know what the material is, but beyond that, you're gonna need like a dual extrusion printer, and the way that the.
So that's cool, and that's a really good method to kind of get a phenomenal part that has support material without having to go the SLA route. So that was a really cool option.
Or you can go
without, optimize it even more to chop the booster off and optimize it to print kind of upright and then angle it so that you don't need any supports for these tabs is really clever.
Even in the model itself, you can see that I'm using fillets
you're
over.
Only filleting where it's
on the top, so that when you're
yeah, that's cool.
So your support, you don't need any supports in any of this. Even the top here, you can see how I have all these fillets on the mounting points, so none of this actually needs supports except the heel. And if we jump into Cura,
we'll jump into Cura, and let's take a look here.
So inside Cura here, you can see how the support materials are set up. Ignore the one for the booster, like I was saying earlier.
Oh, that's
definitely don't need it. Yeah,
That's
it's just so I can get all of the parts in here. Everything comes nicely oriented for you, so it's nice and flat, ready to go. All you have to do is turn on your supports. The only thing that you really need to look at for this is making sure that it's the placement is everywhere and that your support angle is at 40 instead of 45. For whatever reason, Cura tries to chop up the way the supports are laid out if it's at 45. Not very good, so that's one thing too you want to look out for, that your support materials aren't scattered all over the place, or you have these teeny tiny little support pieces that you don't need. Like this is actually an example of a good one right here where you don't really need this, but it's a little finicky trying to get rid of that. You can add a support blocker on there too, but yeah, don't need it other than the heel part, and that's why
So the support density is also an important note to look at. Instead of something default like 10%, drop it down to 4.
I think it's usually 20%. Yeah,
Okay, so
you
drop it down
don't
to,
need
like,
that much.
4%,
You don't
that
need
seems to
10.
work.
Sometimes the high, what I call high support density, is like 6%. And
Okay.
the other thing too to look at, and we've talked about this several times before, support line width for supports. They don't need to be 0.4. They don't need to be so fat.
They're
Why do
really
they need to
thin.
be so fat? You want them to be thin. You want them to be easy to like flick off with your finger,
Cool.
while
I've
still
never
being
played with
steady
that.
enough to support the material that you're printing on top of
Okay,
it.
so a thin extrusion for just the support material. That's
Yeah.
cool. Another thing I was looking at was you have support brim enabled, and that's going to help that thin.
I did not use it for this one, but you can, just in case if you have some adhesion problems with your bed. Didn't need it on this
doesn't
one.
have adhesion
I would-
problems with your bed?
I would definitely use it if you have problems with that. We're using the textured PEI for this one, so it was able to hold on pretty well.
Okay.
The other thing I think we always talk about too, the support Z distance. I have it at 0.21, and that's just so that it's not fusing the supports and the main geometry together. What's the other broken record setting that I always use?
No support interface layer, so you don't need that.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Cool.
Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, I guess the underlying layer, right? The overhang, rather, doesn't really look bad here. There's nothing really to look at.
Jump over to the overhead.
I'm looking at the underside where the supports are. How thick is this this right here?
It's 2 millimeters.
2 millimeters thick, so you get a little bit of flex there, and that kind of helps you kind of hug the heel of the foot.
Well, when you walk, you definitely are bending your heel in like all these different ways you don't realize until you have like a 3D print part on your shoe.
Cool. So it is flat. You have a flat surface that it prints on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So okay.
Yeah. So I did. These are already oriented, ready to go. So
Yeah.
that should be. You just turn on
There
your
you go.
supports and get that
Cool.
printing. Again, just for the heel for the supports. Everything else, even the. Get rid of this. You can see the battery pack. You take a look at the way that
cool.
the mounts are for that too.
Yeah,
I have
they're
a
different for
chamfer right on the bottom there,
Nice.
and then right at the top you just have fillets everywhere to make sure that it's nice and strong.
Yeah.
So always try to keep in mind the way you're designing things. It's like, yo, Kira, I don't know why you're telling me this is red. It catches it just fine.
Yeah, I think there's some setting in the background that you can change to only highlight overhangs over a certain angle. I forget
okay.
what that is, but there's a way to do that.
Yeah, but this catches it just fine. With the amount of fillets and the way that it's drafted inside of Fusion. If you
Another
just-
cool thing is the boosters are symmetrical, so you can just print one or print it twice.
Same thing with the heel. Yeah, some of the designs that Nike had.
Oh, the heel is symmetrical as well. That's great.
Yeah, the heel.
Just print one.
That's one of the things I wanted to avoid to make sure that you don't need a left, you don't need a right.
Yeah.
Same thing with the booster. The
Cool.
booster, yeah, we already showed that it just twists right off. So we're using the threading inside of that to get that going.
Cool.
And I thought I had, of course, when I'm live on TV is when
Wow.
it stops the.
Why?
Come on, let me rotate.
Aw.
Fusion. There you go. Oh my god.
Oh.
It's because of the trackpad. Again, I'm trying to use the this was just working
Sure.
like beautifully.
Yeah. I swear I know how to use Fusion. Well, in any manner, we can.
There you go.
Yay. Yeah, I don't know how you do that with your trackpad.
What was I coming in here to show?
I
I think just the geometry of it. A bunch
Okay.
of fillets everywhere to make everything nice and strong. Like here, because this will pop right off if you don't. Fillets all over the place just to have that nice smoothness all over while adding the strength, rigidity that you're going to need for something that you're wearing on your feet. And
Right,
yeah,
so-
let's see. So the sketches, if you
Yeah.
want to download the files, you have all the sketches here. So if you need to, I don't know, make the booster bigger, or you need to change your threading for like the tolerances on your printer, or if you want to get down to just having the heel for a different sized foot, because this is designed, it should fit like the 9.5 up to 10.5, but in Andrew's video he was showing that the sizes that he downloaded for his foot, the 12,
Size
12
12,
size
yeah.
12 did not fit his shoe. So if you want to...
he ended up scanning the heel clip that was included with the pair of shoes. Scan that, clean it up, bring it into Fusion, and then you can reference the holes there and kind of redraw it.
And this is what I'm showing off here. The screw mounts for all this. You can just move this around if you need to have like a bigger shoe or a smaller shoe, which you would have figured that design-wise, if the shoe is bigger, that it would just be updating from here, you know. But unfortunately, no. It looks like the entire shoe is being updated, like scaled like that, instead of being smart and doing it this way.
But, yeah, I don't know. I've never designed a shoe.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some other design constraints or something.
Cool. So folks can modify the sketches and
modify the sketch. You can modify all the cuts. So if you want like a different shape for it, although keep in mind that you do have to stay within this this shape here.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of
concaves
sketch
down.
that out there, so you have a good profile to look at.
Yeah. And luckily I have another one over here. It's already assembled.
Yeah, you get 2 shoes.
Yeah. And then of course I think the cool thing for like the way that it was coded is in MakeCode, and we'll go over that. So the action is if you stomp hard, which in MakeCode you have like different G settings, like G-force settings, and I think it's at 8 Gs. So when you stomp really hard, instead of just walking,
right,
you'll have that little animation where both the boosters turn red. The central one does a little red ring and then does the little sparkle. And I think you can hear it there. It does a little pew pew. And then because of, just how easy MakeCode is to quickly iterate, get things over, you're able to do like if you fall down, you have like a little fall detector.
Or if you're on a swing and you really go vertical, you can...
I don't think anybody around is going to be able to hear
but
that distress noise.
Go this way, when you swing upwards.
But yeah, you do have like you can add like different, like if the face tilts up or down, you can have like different... orientation animations for your orientation. And of course you can edit the way that it blinks and all that. You can tell how many milliseconds you wanted to do, or if you want to blink a different color. Let's go ahead and jump into the guide.
All right, let's take a look here. Okay, want to go over the parts real quick?
All right, yeah, so some of the parts here that we're going to need, a lot of this stuff is in stock. The Circuit Playground Express, if you get the 4H version, those are in stock, and there's no difference. It's just one that's branded for the 4H program.
Patrick's Day is like this week, isn't it?
That is a good reason to get that one. Yeah, a nice green color there, and you got the 4H logo, and then the 420 milliamp hour battery. I do have a case that for the 500 milliamp hour one. Because that's what I started off with, but noticed that they were all out of stock.
Right.
So I switched over to that one. Cool. And then if you want to be able to charge your LiPo battery, we have the micro LiPo charger here.
Cool.
Recommend the USB-C, obviously. And then the alligator clips, you definitely want to have those so you can...
I like the small versions. Yeah, there's some bigger versions, but these work well with the Circuit Playground.
Yeah, especially since the size constraint that you're going to have on your heel.
Cool.
The mini button PCB NeoPixels.
Yeah.
Get the pack of 5.
We love tripod stuff. That's why we stock different tripod adapter screws. So you see here we need 2 of them. One for the for kind of the female socket, one that's kind of the male connector here that plugs 2 quarter-20s together.
Yep.
Cool.
And that is what's on the back of the polycarbonate Circuit Playground Express enclosure.
Yeah, that's great. It's like heat pressed in there.
Of course, you're going to need the Nike Acronym Blazer lows. Hopefully they are in stock in your size. And the M3 thumb screws.
Thumb. Yeah.
They have like red and blue and purple
I like
and
the
black.
parts. Yeah.
Looks super cool.
They're great.
The M2.5 by 5mm long screws to attach the boosters.
Yeah, I recommend metal screws, folks, because the nylon ones might get
I tried.
Yeah,
I really try to use all the the stuff that we have in the shop.
Yeah.
But
the
something
screws
like
aren't
this,
pass through, right? They don't pass through. They have to bite through. So
you have to create the thread.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind. That makes it just much more stronger. You want your boosters to fall off mid-flight.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the M2 8mm long screws. Oh, I'm sorry. Those are for the boosters. The other ones are for attaching the heels and the mount for the battery and the Circuit Playground Express.
Okay, cool.
Jumping over to the circuit diagram. It is not found.
Give me a sec, folks.
Let me see. I can make sure.
Yeah, it wasn't published.
Let's see.
Give us a second, folks.
Published. There we go. All right, jump back in.
We're
Cool.
building the airplane as we're flying.
Why is it 3D printing? That one's not published. What the?
happened?
I did this at night and it told me it was published. You liar. All right, continue. There you go.
Circuit diagram.
Where were we?
Where's the circuit diagram?
Circuit diagram. There you go.
Anyway, this is why we do this.
All right, jumping into the circuit diagram, you can see how everything is hooked up. Pretty simple in terms of the view of the circuit diagram, how everything is laid out, but the actual soldering and making of the circuit
to this build.
Yeah,
folks could fashion their own method if they kind of want to do it differently. But this circuit diagram should give you an idea that you're just sharing data, ground, and power between the two pixels. You could create a Y connector like Pedro has, or you can use some sort of bus, like a little power bus thing where you can solder into or
that's
block
big
terminal
though.
into.
That's giant.
It's dependent on your build.
Yeah,
Saying.
If you click on the photos, you can enlarge them. Any of the photos in the learning guide, when you click on them, it'll show you several different sizes. You can see the original size here. What I'm doing here is just creating a Y cable, like you said. I'm just sharing the V out, the digital in, and the ground. And I'm splitting that into two additional connections, and then having those be rewired or reconnected with the male and the female connections there, the jumpers.
Yeah, red.
Of course, easier said than done. You have to have like all these third helping
we
hands
didn't say
to hold
was
it.
an easy beginner-friendly project, did we?
I think I did.
I didn't in the video.
So yeah, just it's definitely a really good.
Very careful. I say it's easy to. You know,
we made it.
It's hard. All right.
Moving on to the MakeCode, you can edit this in any of your browser. Well, not any browser. I'm sorry. Only in Chrome has that USB extension there built in, so you can connect to your Circuit Playground that way, or you can just go ahead and download a UF2. Whoops.
Okay.
I didn't catch that one.
Cool. All right.
You can see where that code came from.
Right.
Let's see.
So what's cool about MakeCode is you can either edit the MakeCode like file, or you can just drag and drop the UF2 file, which will get you just going real quick. All right. It's really nice with the boot loader on the Circuit Playground. You can switch between CircuitPython, MakeCode, and Arduino with the reset button. So it's really easy to kind of switch between them. But you've offered the UF2, so you can just drag and drop it, or you can edit the code in MakeCode. So I'll go ahead and open that. This opens it in a new kind of instance. MakeCode has like a special embedded code thingy where you can play around with it. You can hit edit. That'll bring you into the editor.
And I really love that you don't need any logins. You don't need an account.
Yeah,
it's just saving on your local.
It's like caching or something. Yeah.
It's really nice. The thing called DOM? No. Whatever the programming web thing is. So this is like some advanced multi-threading code here going on. So on start, you're setting up the strip, the external strip on the Circuit Playground. You have it connect to A1, so you can easily change it to whatever pin you'd like. Yeah. There's only 2 pixels, and that's how you set up an external strip. Since these are being shared, you can probably just have 1 pixel, but you can have 2. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It should only be 1.
It should only be 1. Huh,
but cool. 2 works. It doesn't matter.
You can do inputs. So here in the input block, you can see all the different inputs that you can do. So like on 8G, this is where this is the sensitivity. Yeah. So if you wanted to shake it, you could do that. But the 8G is like, it's only going to look for hard hitting things.
Exactly.
So that's what you wanted there.
Yeah, because you don't want to kill the battery. Just keep walking around, having that go off. Cool. So on the 8G, you're gonna, and I've tried many arranging of the blocks, and this is what played like back favorably. So having the pew pew sound play first, stop any animation that's going on, and running in parallel, you're going to have the strip show that little fire animation, in which of course you can change around. You do the amount of time, You can show that on the strip, and then on the Circuit Playground board itself.
Yeah.
Then immediately after that, you're going to do the little sparkle. You're going to do the same thing on the strip, and then you're going to clear it because you don't want it to just stay without it actually animating.
Okay,
so you got to be very specific on telling it what to do for each step.
Yeah, each stage of your animation. Cool. And then when you click the A button, you want
can
to
have a
stop
different
all the
animation.
animations.
And play a new animation of laughter.
What's light up?
I think it's supposed to be the strip. Might have been left over.
And it still works.
Yeah, it still works.
While A button was pressed, do show animation?
So that's if you want like yet another animation happening. So.
Oh, it's almost like a demo mode. Like, hey, let me just kickstart an animation by pressing the button.
Exactly.
Cool. And then here's your oops, I fell detection, face down.
So
Stop all the animations and do another run in parallel. And play melody.
Yes, and there is, I think in.
So you.
I don't remember. Cool. I did not build this. They had like candid ones ready to go. Did they get rid of it? Yeah, there it is. Gallery. If you go in the gallery, you can check out ones and edit those. Which again, this is so cool that the block editor allows you to quickly go in there and do a little tone without having to sit there and go, okay, this is C, this is D, A, E, and trying to figure that out in your head. It's a lot more easier to have a visual and your iteration of hearing it on the Circuit Playground to see, okay, this sounds good or does not sound good.
I like that. Okay, cool. Right. So you can have lots of fun in MakeCode and just kind of play around with it. We think it's really cool. Like I say in the video, educational settings, workshops, like this is really fun. And if you're just getting started and you're more of a visual learner, I think MakeCode is still a really great option. It's free, right? So just makecode.adafruit.com.
Yep.
It also works with other CMD chipsets, I think, so other hardware too. Microbit and I think a Feather, maybe a Cricket. Yeah. Cool. Do you need a second?
No, just making sure the links are going, and they are not. Sorry. Moving on.
Take a second to catch any questions or anything.
Nope, nothing so far. That's why I'm continuing on.
All right, here we go.
Moving on to the 3D printing. We already covered a little bit about that. You can get the files.
Maker.
Oh yeah, there's a little explanation if you want even more on how to set it up, how to get it going.
Cool. It's got like boards. A breadboard if you want to.
This is MakeCode Maker, so this is like a different one.
If
which
you're attaching your own sensors and LEDs,
yeah,
use a breadboard as well.
Very similar. It's just it works with other boards other than the Circuit Playground Express.
Excellent. All right, on to 3D printing.
Already
we
covered
talked a lot about that. You can download or edit the design. There's a Fusion 360 model. You can download separate formats if you need something else. There's a lot to choose from. And then the step file is sort of a universal solid modeling thing that you can load in other programs like Blender, Maya, Rhino, what have you.
Maybe
SketchUp. Cool.
That should work too.
On to assembly.
Side of assembly, we kind of covered this too. Going over the wires, how to set that up, how everything's broken out, and then moving on to threading everything through. I feel like we already covered all of this in the beginning.
Yeah.
How you want to have your NeoPixels, so you can plug those in.
There's an order of operations, so definitely follow it that way.
Yeah.
Just pull out any notes or
one of the most important things right here that we can't see unless we're showing the picture off is this little washer for the quarter 20 to quarter 20 adapter, because without it, it can go all the way through and push out your board. It can just pop open the polycarbonate case.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like a end stop for it. So you can't turn it anymore.
Yeah.
And like push out the board.
Yes. The screw thread is just too tall, and it works for certain things, but for this one you just print your own thing.
I would print this anytime you're using it because it has the Core 20 that
if
we're assuming that you're going to use it with a tripod adapter. You definitely want to have this washer for more uses than just this, just so you're not punching your board through the case.
It's just the thread is too long on that screw. Okay.
Moving on beyond that, attaching the mount to the heel. Like we were saying before, we're using the 2.5 by 5 millimeter long screws to attach that behind.
Does the battery fit loosely in there?
No. So that the good point for bringing that up.
I don't want you to pressure
No.
it.
So it does have a little bit of
it came
a
right
loose.
out. You're good.
Yeah, but I did add.
Oh, you had a little shimmy. That's
Yeah, so we're using these the Kapton tape, the
Yeah.
little strip of the Kapton tape, just to increase the tolerance.
There's the friction.
Teeny tiny bit.
Of friction, so it stays in
Yeah,
there.
because trying to get that right with your model, you're always going to get it either too tight or too loose.
This is a great solution. A bad solution, from experience, mounting tack. Because like if you leave it in there, 2 years later, you're like, why is
it
this
dries
dried
out? It starts cracking,
and it leaves a stain.
So beyond the little, because what is it, like 0.2 or 0.1 millimeters thick?
Yeah.
The other thing you can do too, see these flaps on here? You can actually flare them out just a little bit so that you increase the tolerance. Yeah, but I think this is the most safest thing, just having the Kapton tape on there, just to increase the tolerance just a little bit. Did I put that in there wrong? There you go. And that's enough too, so it's not rattling in there as you're walking. I did have that problem with that before I added the that tolerant adjuster.
Cool.
I'm calling it.
All right, good tip.
Let's
All
see.
right. Once you got your battery installed, you can use the alligator clips.
Yeah, just connect them up. And if for whatever reason, like there's some tolerance issues or something, or the screws are different, or you mounted it wrong, you can notice here that one of these, the JST port is pointing up and one of them is pointing down. So if you need to adjust where the most convenient part for adding your alligator clip in, you can go into MakeCode and update, like the instead of A1, maybe it's 8, maybe it fits better in A2.
Just drop
so
down
you can always do that as well if you have to attach it to a different pin. Just because, like, say this, what is this? This is A1. Say if like I twisted it and it was all the way up here, well, that doesn't make sense for the alligator clip to be hanging out over here. Yeah. So you can update what pin that it's actually connecting to.
Yeah, optimize it for cable length and placement.
Exactly.
All right. Wonderful. And adding it to the shoe. Do you want a quick demo on how you add it back to the shoe here? You want to have your tongue open, or?
Yeah, so this little bit right here.
Yeah, so they have like this cool kind of snap for the
tongue. So for the original clip, this actually goes through here like that, hugs in, but that's where a battery is, so we can't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So you just want to maneuver your cabling so it's like all nice and hidden, like that, and then you align these guys up. So, and then you definitely hopes to sort of squeeze the heel, and it snaps right in like that.
Cool.
You can attach your thumb screws.
Yay for thumb screws.
Yeah, definitely should have been included. And that's pretty much it.
You got this great sticker. That's a cool sticker. I like it.
Yeah, so what ideas do you guys have for adding some custom mounted heels? I think one of the funny ones that JP had said was having, which they do have, so one of the artists did have one where it goes down to the heel, so you can have like a different pattern. So you can like stomp out like some logos or something. Or the thing that JP said was, so the feet are like backwards, so it looks like you're like walking all crazy. So that's definitely a really good, funny one that you can do. And other than that, yeah, this was really, I think the thinking for PT was to have, just celebrate it so more companies are able to add, like, mounts.
3D printed shoes is so 2012, but it's really cool to see someone like Nike come out with a nice pair that's not all 3D printed, but like 4 3D printed
That's
parts.
what I was going to bring up.
That's really cool. So I'm seeing like a lot of other designer folks and makers on Instagram posting a lot of fun kind of remixes and different shoe clips.
Well, I want to see ones that actually work, that actually get printed out, because some of the ones that they're showcasing, the ones that PT wanted was like this crazy dragon one. It's so impossible to print on a
I don't think
FDM
these are
printer.
supposed to be like worn. They're like artistic platforms. They're not supposed to be worn.
That's cool too, but it'd be awesome to actually wear them out.
Oh,
So yeah, definitely more useful ones that aren't going to fall apart,
Just kidding.
that aren't as artistic, that don't have like all these tiny little bits and bobs that are actually going to poke you as you're walking.
Okay. Yeah, so for cosplay things, maybe that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, nice. Hopefully encouragement for other, even for Nike to have more shoe styles that'll have, because this is so easy. If you check out Andrew's video, it looks like it's just glued on with the threads, threads inserted in there. So it couldn't be that difficult to come up with a mounting, a way to mount onto some other type of shoe, especially if it's just glued on. Cool. And that's
How did
it.
they feel when you wear them?
Not bad. Like not as comfortable as like other shoes, but they don't hurt my feet. That was the main thing.
Yeah. Sweet. Blazer lows.
Yay. Super cool. I shall be wearing these out, as you can tell. I have not worn these outside yet.
Yeah. Indoors only. Here's your. Forget to plug that in to the other one.
All right.
Sweet.
That is this week's project.
All right. Don't forget to check out the Learn Guide if you want to pick up a pair. You can get the Circuit Playground 4H. It's in stock. Maybe the case or any other bits and bobs that you might need.
Rock it off.
Rock it off. Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's What Are We Prototyping?
All right. We're doing the Chaos Emerald?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, for prototyping this week, we have some more Chaos Emeralds. These are 3D printed emeralds that have embedded NeoPixel LEDs via a circuit playground. So I made 3 different shapes, 3 different sizes rather, because I thought it'd be fun to have this model be printed in different, smaller printers, bigger printers. So we got big, large, medium, right? Wait, small, medium, and large. So you might have seen this one last week. It's really nice. It's got a circuit playground embedded inside. This one does as well. Pretty similar. We have a 3D printed bracket that allows the circuit playground to snap fit. So that's really cool. Without any hardware, you can snap fit this. But then you do need some hardwares to attach the snap fit case to this like extra bracket. And I came up with this method of adding built-in standoffs to the lower half of the Chaos Emerald. That way you have like a really secure mounting point to attach this kind of bracket here. Another cool thing is I have the snap fit grabbers on 2 of the sides, and then just these lips here on these sides. That way you can kind of do a little bit of this to easily open it and close it. It just flexes slightly. The lower half here is just kind of printed in this ivory white translucent white PLA, which diffuses very nicely. There are little nubbins on 2 of these sides that catch onto the grabbers, and just line them up. And it's easy enough to snap them in there. You get a little bit of a seam, but not too bad. And that's kind of what it looks like here. So you got a nice hot spot here, but you're able to kind of illuminate the top here too, just because of the nature of the filament. And in different lighting situations, it looks more brighter than others. But yeah, very, very happy with this one. So that's the medium-sized one. This one is the smallest version I could come up with. So this will fit on any of the small 3D printers. Same deal here, you just squeeze it to open it. And you can see here I got those same grabbers on the edges there, and these lip stoppers here on the opposite ends. This is the Circuit Playground Bluefruit because I wanted to try out some Bluetooth connectivity. I forgot to mention, but the battery is like in between the bottom of the snap fit case and the bottom of the PCB. It's just in there. It's like a 500 milliamp LiPo battery. You could also use 320 or 420, whichever one of those. But with this one, the standoffs are built in. I forgot that this is the Bluefruit one. The standoffs are built into this one, so you just have the snap fit case like screw right into the built-in standoffs there. And I only added 2 of them because I didn't need to have all 4 of them.
While you're on the subject of the screws, Jepler real quick is asking best way to have the your part accept screws. Is it give up and use a captive nut? He wants to do a project where he does not require the inserts.
Yeah, sure. So let's say you're doing an M3 hole. I would make it 2.8 millimeters in diameter. That way you have it's a little bit tighter And then what I like to do is I have an M3 screw tap, and I will create the threads into the standoffs by just slightly kind of, you know, driving into your standoff. That way there's a little bit of material that you're gonna bite into when you're threading it, and that way you can have the threads easily, or the screw threads go easily into the standoffs. But if you're using a cap nut, you know, I don't have the real estate to do that here, so that's why I'm like, I'm just gonna go directly into the screw.
This is the one you use here?
That's an M3.5.
Oh.
So it's just an M3. Yeah. So that would be my suggestion. And then, like, say this tab here, I would make this hole 3.2 millimeters, a little bit bigger, because I actually don't need the screw to bite into this piece. I only need it to bite into this guy here. So that kind of makes it a little bit easier too.
I believe this is the set we use.
That's a good set. Yeah, you can pick up a metric set of screw taps, and those are great. Get a handle as well, a little handle for your screw tap. Some of them come with it, some of them don't. But yeah, that's a great question. I should really do like a tutorial on like why you would go with a screw cap, or and look at different projects that I've done to say like, here's why I screwed it this way, or here's why it has an insert, because I'm going to reuse it. Super great question. Cool.
And then Vince is asking, could neodymium magnets work here instead?
Yeah, you know what? Neodymium magnets would work pretty well, because then you'd just be able to take this whole thing off. Yeah, for sure. And there are so many different neodymium magnet diameters, thicknesses, that you could totally do that. Why didn't I do it?
Oh, you did it in this other project.
Yeah, I did it in the other project, the cube that we're working on, but I don't know. I think it was... it depends on, like, if do you have the magnets, you got to worry about the tolerances of the magnets.
All the magnets we have,
and
we
if
had to
you
use
are
it for a different project.
then you'll have to, like, and you glue them in, then you have to
that is the most annoying
That's
part.
why I kind of stay away from magnets. But
same thing with the inserts.
I do like it.
Same thing with the inserts too,
Yeah.
especially when you're still prototyping. You're like, oh no, I need to salvage these, and you're sitting there breaking apart your model for that.
Yeah, but magnets is a good idea too, for sure. It just depends on what you have on hand and what you want to do with it. But yeah, magnets would be cool. I also thought like a screw thing would work too, but I didn't really need to do that. I think snap fit's fine. One of the things about the shape though, you'll notice that like you get a really hot spot. This is because the LEDs are so close to proximity to them. So like the more space you have, the more diffusion you get. And that's why this one here works so good, because like there's just so much space around the NeoPixels that the light can just scatter and just kind of illuminate the whole thing. But the only thing that sucks about this is you need a big printer to print it. So that's why I was like, you know what, I want everybody to enjoy these lovely SnapFit gem diamonds, chaos crystals, whatever you want to call them. They can be whatever color you want to. So very fun. And that's what we're prototyping. More glowy goodness.
Tights is asking, on the subject of the magnets, does it affect the Wi-Fi reception?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
And then, yep, tolerances sometimes give me grief. Yes, especially if you have something of a known tolerance that works with whatever you're trying to fit. Yeah. And then you have to print it vertically, it completely changes.
Yeah.
So you have to have like a whole new model, especially when you're like making these like little widgets to make sure that you can reuse for other projects.
Yeah.
It always gets you. And then if you print it, like, say it's facing up or facing down, now it's like completely different, because if you have to have like supports on it, completely changes.
Cool.
All right, and I think that is this week's What Are We Prototyping?
Yeah. Real quick, we'll do shop talk.
Oh yeah,
we got a nice like walkthrough of some of the tips that you might find helpful in designing a SnapFit case. So this week it was a video on
Etch-a-Sketch,
the Etch-a-Sketch case, and some things to be aware of when you're designing a case, particularly for the TFT feather wing and a feather. There's just some things about the mounting holes and the display bezel and things like that. So check it out. It's just a nice little walkthrough of some of the things I learned.
I got the link.
It's applicable to all folks too. It's not just particular to Fusion, just like design notes. Okay.
And I got the
this week's
link.
community make. We got some time lapses every Tuesday. We publish a time lapse video on some cool designs from the community. This week we got something from DaveMakesStuff. This is a this is an excellent fruit bowl with a sweet Verneuil pattern.
This thing is so cool.
Yeah, these shapes look so cool when they're growing. They look like they're growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely check out his profile. There is a bunch of these Verneuil
Yeah, we'll take a look
looking
too.
patterns. This one caught my eye. I forget who I saw printing this out. I was like, that looks so cool. I like the shape of it, and obviously a good little way to have your fruits displayed, especially if your child is always begging for more apples or oranges.
Cool. So it's fairly large, no supports, and awesome time lapse.
Yeah, a little bit of a cleanup there just because of the way that the head moves over for the time lapse. And yeah, here it is. It holds a crystal.
Emerald diamond thing.
Yeah.
Let me move these over here in the back.
With the shadows, you can totally see like the layer lines for that. But otherwise,
It kind of adds some texture to it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like layer lines.
nice and strong. Like, yeah, this
Reminds
is
me
really
of,
good.
the sediments and
I think there's also like
watching
like a thing that you could put inside here, so objects can drop through. Yeah,
cool,
so
cool.
you can definitely have that printed out as well. If we check out the his profile page.
Yep, you go to the Thingiverse page. All right, so this is DaveMakesStuff. This is profile. You see he's got some great photos of the cap that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Print that out as well. No supports needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Supports.
Shout out to Dave. It's a free download, so you folks can just print it out as you like. Is it scalable? You can probably scale it if you want.
You should be able to scale it. Yeah.
Bigger one. Okay. And yeah, Dave does some fantastic things. He's got a whole tea set.
I think he's the one who was being posted about, for the shoes. Gives out a very nice Verneuil shoe design.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it looks like the Verneuil thing is
That's great.
definitely the thing on this page. I like that teapot.
4 pages. Sweet.
And we posted about Dave makes stuff.
Jewelry.
Yeah, the skull jewelry we posted about.
Wow. So definitely give him a follow.
That's really cool stuff.
Yeah, here's the skull stuff. Fantastic. Cool. So shout out to Dave MakeStuff for making some awesome things.
Yeah. Mushrooms.
Yes.
Even that coffee
guy.
cup.
Yeah, I like the shoe. This reminds me of like the Adidas shoes.
I like how it gives it away as a reference for making the shoe, and check that out. Came out really good, I think. Is that NinjaFlex? It says that it's a TPMS.
TPMS, I don't know. Cool. All right. Well.
And made in on shape. So cool.
Nice. All right. So shout out to Dave MakeStuff for posting up their great designs, and we have some community make stuff that was sent to us. Shout out to everybody for sending their makes. We'll run through them real quick here. I can get the links quick enough. All right, this is a very awesome build. Shout out to Alistair Lakeman on Thingiverse for posting up their make of the Dark Saber 3D printed Dark Saber prop with a prop maker feather wing and Adafruit feather and some NeoPixels. This is fantastic. This is perfect. So these are the Mandalorian comics adorned on the wall. That is freaking fantastic. I love the length of it. That's so perfect. Bless you. In the description says, added the Mandalorian wall in my office. Gonna hide a wire so I can keep it lit up. That's brilliant.
Sweet.
Yeah, that is some dedication.
Cool.
So cool. It seems, okay, we got printed in Isan Pet G Gray. Printed on a mini, but that's not an option here. Oh, okay. Yeah, mini Prusa. Excellent. Sweet. And here's another photo of the post-process. Oh my god, look how gorgeous that is.
Whoa. Holy crap.
That is gorgeous. That's so much sanding.
Wow.
I love it. It looks great. You guys know me. I never sand anything. So anytime I see somebody go through, I'm just like, what?
We know how much time and the effort that goes into that.
It's just, yeah. All right, here's another one. So, okay, shout out to Alistair Lakeman again for posting up their make. We got another one here. This is from Tactical Pickle Gaming. Posted up a remix part of another prop. This is the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. So a couple years ago, we designed a Keyblade. It's a kind of like a a sword that looks like a key, and it's from the video game series Kingdom Hearts. Got to give it that backstory. But looks like Tactile Pickle had an issue printing it. It says after printing all the parts, it ended up snapping at the smaller thread end. After printing it again and breaking it again, I decided to combine the collar and the first blade section together. Figured I'd upload it in case others find it useful. Yeah, I think folks find it useful. I also have snapped mine in that area too, because the kiddo is rough. But yeah, really cool to see folks remix our stuff and make it work for them. And if you are a fan of Kingdom Hearts, there are plenty of kits for making your own Keyblade. Yeah, cool. Shout out to Tactical Pickle Gaming for sharing their remix. Okay, one last one, or two last ones here. Got another one here from Prusa Printers. This is a make of the Raspberry Pi HQ camera for the Pi 4. So if you're looking for a snap fit case for your Raspberry Pi HQ camera project, check this one out. Let me click on it to make it bigger. This also looks like it's sanded, maybe? This was posted up by Stefan M64 on Prusa Printers. It says the hardware to put it together is a bit annoying, but this is a bit annoying to source, but overall decent case for the HQ and Pi 4. Yeah, finding screws can be a little bit hard sometimes, but looks great. And it way to kind of keep your Pi nice and secured. Cool. And to end it off, we have another dark saber from the Mandalorian Star Wars. Cool. So Black Sheep Studios put this up on Prusa Printers. Says it's a work in progress as I chucked in some random USB LEDs I had. So not the right size, quality, or amount of LEDs compared to the NeoPixels used in the guide, but it should do for a party in a couple weeks, and then maybe my birthday I'll buy the proper LEDs and featherwing, etc. Also debating making the track wider if I can find it cheaper, or stock LEDs. Yeah, very cool. Look at that.
I like how it glows on the inside.
Yeah, it's an unexpected effect to
Wow.
see glow on the inside. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Dope. Very cool. That was posted by Black Sheep Studios. Cool. I'm digging these dark sabers. All right, and that's this week's Community Makes. Shout out to everybody for sharing your makes. It's a thing. I really makes my day when folks post up their stuff.
Yeah, it's like hey, it works.
Yeah, hey, it worked, or hey, it didn't work, or here's a remix that worked for me.
Very cool.
All right. So tonight we have a special show and tell. It's going to be hosted by JP. John Park's going to be hosting it this week. And then shortly after, Lamar and Phil will be doing Ask an Engineer on the same time schedule. It's on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Normally you would say ET, Eastern Time, but here in America we have this thing called Daylight Savings Time, so it's DST. So it's 8 p.m. DST. Sorry. People are probably tuning in the show like, hey, where's 3D Hangouts? Like, we're over. It hasn't started yet. Cool. So, yeah, come into Show and Tell. We hope to see you there. You can get the invite by hanging out in the Discord chat room.
I'll post the StreamYard link there a couple of minutes before it starts. So get in, show us your awesome project.
Cool. Show and Tell. And you'll get a 10% off coupon code on Ask an Engineer. It'll start at 8 p.m. tonight. Cool. And then tomorrow we have John Park's Workshop every Thursday at 4 p.m. What is it? Daylight Savings Time? DST?
I don't know. Hopefully this stays permanent this year. See that the bill is going in to get signed into law, so hopefully no more time changes.
Okay. On Fridays, it's normally a deep dive with Scott. Scott will be out for a couple weeks, and in the meantime, we have Foamy Guy Tim will be doing the deep dives. So deep dives with Tim. I need to update this banner so it has Tim's face.
I know. We were joking to add like his
avatar?
avatar that he has on there, like
Yeah, the one
Photoshop
eye.
like
Yeah,
a little
super
piece
cool.
of tape on there,
Fun.
make it look like we taped it on. But I'm sure he'll get his photo once he gets into the office
Cool.
later in the year.
All right. And then on Sundays is from the Desk of Lady Ada, doing up, what is it? No, The Great Search with DigiKey and some sneak peek stuff. Mondays is the CircuitPython meeting, so if you want to tune in live, you can hear what the CircuitPython devs are working up, what they're up to, and the community at whole. It's every Monday at 2 p.m. Daylight Savings Time.
Cake every Monday at 2 p.m.
And then Tuesdays is John Park's Product Pick of the Week. You can get up to 50% off select items. So be sure to tune in live because it only works during live the show. And that's every Tuesday at 4 p.m. or 1 p.m. Pacific time. Daylight Savings Time. And we're wrapping back around to Wednesdays. We do the show in the morning at 11 a.m. Daylight Savings Time. All right, we're on overtime now. Thank you everybody for joining us. Sorry for
it's denoted as standard time.
Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for your kind words, and good luck with all your maker endeavors. We hope everybody is getting into it and keeping busy.
But until then, remember to make a great day.
Yeah.
See you later tonight.
See you tonight, folks. Take care. Bye. Music.